Start back up Friday, and the bus service between Algiers Point to Canal Street until the ferry service resumes will also begin shuttle operations tomorrow. And late tonight, I-10 will be closed in both directions from Loyola to the Causeway for utility work. The interstate will be closed from midnight to 3 a.m. And we're getting a clearer picture of how more than 840 New Orleans area nursing home residents ended up at a warehouse in Independence in rapidly declining conditions from Hurricane Ida.
State health records, witness accounts, and lawsuits are painting the picture of a deteriorating evacuation site that the nursing home's owner defends as adequate.
It was trash, full of urine and feces all stacked in a corner, and the place just smelled horrible.
After Hurricane Ida ripped through Tangipahoa Parish, the storm left behind devastation and deteriorating conditions at a warehouse holding more than 840 of the New Orleans area's most vulnerable.
They kept rolling in more residents. I'm like, oh my God, and we had to keep pushing the patients over tighter and tighter to fit everybody in. I was in tears, like it was very overwhelming.
Nurse Natalie Henderson says things went from bad to worse as the building started to take on water. An account backed up by inspection records and 2 lawsuits filed on behalf of the residents. 911 calls indicate things at the site went downhill fast, and records show state health inspectors exchanged these text messages the morning after the storm about the, quote, Bob Dean facility taking on 8 inches of water, with residents sleeping on mattresses on the floor.
Yes, this is Bob Dean. I have an evacuation center in Independence that's been approved by the state fire marshal.
And when state and federal inspectors headed out to the site to check it out,
Understand that you have people on the way down there to see my 850 residents.
The owner of the 7 nursing homes and the warehouse, Bob Dean, left this threatening voicemail with state health officials.
If you come foot on my property, you will be arrested for trespassing. I have not proper charting for transfer, plus none of my residents have anything to do with COVID, and I don't want them exposed. This will be against the federal law.
He then exchanged a barrage of profanity-laden text messages with health officials claiming they were under a, quote, federal restraining order and couldn't go in. But the inspectors went in anyway, with the state fire marshal taking these photographs of the compound Dean has insisted is not a warehouse. You can see puddles on the floor where that part of that warehouse facility flooded, leading workers to cram the residents' mattress to mattress in another section of the facility. The ceiling is warped from water in spots. Rows of portable toilets were lined up for the residents to use, something that a new lawsuit claims led to health problems.
They were brought into a warehouse that's only supposed to house a few hundred people, and there was close to 900 of them there. 900 with 12 portalets. Think about that, 12 portalets for 900 people.
He claims his clients couldn't make it to them, instead leaving them lingering in soiled diapers.
Many of the residents, including our clients, are lying in their own urine and feces with nobody to remove them. It was absolutely horrific. And to add insult to injury, the loved ones of these residents didn't know where they were.
Now, Bart's lawsuit claims that 4 sinks led to hygiene to quickly deteriorate, and temperatures rising from a lack of climate control led to, quote, the putrid conditions that caused many to vomit uncontrollably. Now, that lawsuit involves 5 residents, and Bart says there could be more. Another class action suit has also been filed this week, and we reached out to Bob Dean for comment for the story, but he did not respond.
While facing extensive damage in St. John the Baptist Parish, business owners are cleaning up some big messes as best they can. Now, many businesses were simply destroyed, while others have a lot of work ahead of them before they can reopen. Mike McDaniel takes us to LaPlace.
All this was gone.
TJ Kutab was inside his LaPlace restaurant the morning Hurricane Ida served up fury in St. John the Baptist Parish.
The wind itself, it was so strong. I never seen anything like that in my life.
That wind took off part of the roof, tore down a wall, and like everywhere else, left Petra Restaurant in the dark.
The ceiling almost caved on us here.
Kutab was here because he was cooking and serving food for first responders that weekend, as parts of his restaurant crumbled around him. Some tables were untouched, napkins folded, like nothing happened. Most of the building, though, is in bad shape.
Everybody knows that's in Laplace. It's hard.
Driving down the street, power crews are working to get the lights turned on, but businesses are doing what they can in the meantime.
I literally wanted to cry.
At Southern Styles, new clothing inventory is still in boxes on the floor. A delivery that came right before Ida delivered a blow to the shopping center.
The water is all over, all the clothes and everything. It's totally damaged. Everything is damaged.
Thursday was the first day Amit Bulchandani was able to start cleaning inside his store.
We're taking out the carpet, moving, trying to gut the walls out and everything.
It'll be a while before all St. John businesses get back to business, which means many owners and employees are out of a job.
I'm out of income right now for God knows for how long, but we have to fight through it.
A fight Bulchandani says he and other business owners in his shopping center are up for.
The grocery store is going to come back. We all coming back. Nobody's leaving from this.
Look at the mold that we have now.
That includes Kutab, who's now battling with insurance. He says most of that food for first responders spoiled and was told insurance wouldn't cover it.
Just had to take it one day at a time, rebuild, fix it back up, and get back in business.
Well, we can't forget about the small community struggling to recover after Hurricane Ida dealt a significant blow. One of those communities is Edgar, Louisiana, on the west bank of St. John Parish. I spoke to a woman who rode out the storm and is devastated after she saw how much damage was left behind.
All I could do was cry because it was horrible. I don't even really know if I want to stay there anymore.
Family, friends took big losses here in Edgar, and Edgar is such a very small community. And if you can look around, you can see all the damage. From my neighbor's house, both of my neighbors on both sides of the, from my house, is really heartbreaking to see that they lost a lot.
And while this community waits on assistance from local and state officials, they've banded together to take care of one another. And one way is by making hot meals and serving them up at Juan Anthony Joseph Park, completely a community effort. I spoke to folks out there who say the community is in need of cleaning supplies and tools to help rebuild the homes that you see there. Well, contractors in Southeast Louisiana are backed up for months right now, with tens of thousands of homes in need of repair.
Yeah, there are some steps that you should take to keep yourself from becoming a victim of any sort of construction scams or contractor fraud. Devin Bartolotta breaks it all down.
The renovations and repairs have begun across Louisiana, but there's no need to get lost in a sea of blue tarps when looking for trustworthy workers.
Definitely look into references, talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends, family, use somebody that people know.
Robert's Family Allstate Insurance in Harahan took on its own damage in the storm, but the owner's cell phones have been ringing since landfall. They're giving homeowners some good advice for hiring contractors. Ask friends and neighbors for references. Get at least 3 bids for the work before you start. Be cautious of contractors going door to door or offers that seem too good to be true. And check the Better Business Bureau.
When you pick a contractor, verify their license and insurance. You can actually text the Louisiana State Licensing Board to make sure the contractor you're going to hire is legit.
Or you can look them up by name on the State Licensing Board website. If they're from out of state, look on that state's licensing board website and verify. When that's squared away, then comes the contract. Get everything in writing, including a description of the work and total cost, and keep a copy.
You want to save everything for your records and for the insurance records and even for FEMA.
Next, the Louisiana Attorney General's office says get pictures of everything. Your contractor's ID, credentials, vehicle, and business card.
Never pay in cash or pay in full right away. The Louisiana Attorney General says anything more than 25% down should be a red flag.
This may all seem like a big chore right now when there is so much going on, but it really may save you a lot of frustration and a lot of money in the long run. I'm Devin Bartolotta, Eyewitness News.
And if you believe you've been scammed by a contractor, you can report them to the licensing board online. We have more resources and details on this story on our website. Well, Entergy is providing new information this afternoon about what it called a catastrophic transmission failure during Hurricane Ida. The company says 8 transmission lines covering 150 miles failed during the storm. But Entergy says only 12 of the 1,500 towers and poles holding up those lines were damaged or destroyed. PSC Chairman Dr. Craig Green says he has more questions about the transmission system.
The money that they'd set aside for transmission monitoring upgrades that they said they were going to allocate to that, did they and how?
For more about the transmission system failures, check out eyewitness investigator David Hammer's latest report on our website, WWLTV.com. And as more evacuees from Hurricane Ida return home and the power returns, the demand for groceries grows by the day, and shelves are getting picked clean for basic items like bread and eggs.
Reporter Kevin Landers explains how grocers are trying to meet the demand and what customers are finding.
The mad dash for food,
chicken, the Gatorade, and water
is leaving some store shelves bare as droves of customers who now have power get ready to cook again.
It's really the bare necessities, milk, eggs, potatoes, things like that you can kind of extend for days.
The demand for food is putting a strain on local grocers who are having to get creative to keep food on their shelves.
We've been buying direct truckloads of product from various vendor partners and manufacturers from Texas, Tennessee, the Carolinas, and Florida.
At both Rouse's and Robert's Fresh Market, store hours are limited.
With our limited number of employees, we don't have enough employees to run 2 shifts right now. So we're basically running one extended shift from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m.
Which means people who don't get off work until late can't find a store to shop.
Yesterday I came shop for a sister who gets off at 6:30 and she couldn't get anything, so I got some stuff for her.
We are planning for our New Orleans area stores to extend at least from 7 to 8, hopefully going into the weekend.
Here in the 7th Ward, it's a much different story. Circle Food is closed and serves many of its customers who walk. The next nearest major grocery stores are Robert's, which is a 4-minute drive or a 16-minute walk, or Rouse's, which is a 7-minute drive or a 26-minute walk. Grocers who are open credit their staffs for serving the community during these difficult times and say while customers may not find everything they want on the day they want it, they're trying to buy as much food as they can.
It's certainly been a challenge keeping up with stock levels.
Kevin Landers, Eyewitness News.
Still to come at 10, President Biden has unveiled his new plan to slow down COVID.
We'll hear his new plan and how this could affect nearly 100 million Americans.
Plus, it was another pretty nice day out there with that cold front moving in. Chief Meteorologist Chris Franklin has your weather expert forecast after the break. A third person has been arrested in the murder of 2 members of the Zulu Social Aid and Pleasure Club, including an NOPD officer, during a trip to Houston. Houston police arrested 19-year-old Khalil Nelson for capital murder. 2 others have already been arrested as well. Nelson was the last suspect they were looking for. Those shootings happened at a Galleria area restaurant last month. Remember, the men allegedly shot and killed Dyron Ricolfi and NOPD Detective Everett Briscoe. They were on a trip at the time with other members of Zulu.
Well, this afternoon, Governor Edwards announced that 50% of Louisianians are eligible for the COVID vaccine are fully vaccinated. Now, this comes the same day President Biden announced new federal vaccine requirements. Biden signed an executive order requiring federal executive branch workers to be vaccinated. Another extends the same standard to employees of contractors that do business with the federal government. And the Labor Department is working on a rule that businesses with more than 100 employees require vaccination or weekly testing.
If you stepped outside this evening, it actually feels nice for early September. The humidity being low and skies clear will allow us to cool down. 81 degrees, yes, still mild in the city, but you get away from the city, you get up on the North Shore, temperatures are quickly cooling down, and with dew points in the 50s and clear skies, it is going to be getting cooler overnight tonight. And I will call it cool on the North Shore by wake-up time tomorrow morning. Yes, it was on the hot to warm side, although if you're in the shade when the humidity is lower, doesn't feel quite as bad, but out in the bright sunshine, 89 degrees. What did you expect from a still summertime cold front? But the humidity coming down is very welcome. Clear skies on satellite, all of our cloud cover well down offshore and along the coastline. Already falling into the 60s across parts of the North Shore. Bogalusa at 67, Hammond at 66, down to 70 degrees right now, Slidell. In the city, still in the lower 80s. We'll be coming down into the 70s there, but even Reserve, Raceland, Belle Chase in the 70s now. Probably will be waking up with temperatures in the 60s by early tomorrow morning. Winds are fairly light. Now, they may pick up a little bit during the overnight period, as we are expecting a little bit of a chop on the lake and offshore. And dew points 50s and 60s. This is that good feel air. Now, it may be not exactly a fall feel that folks were hoping for, but this is our early taste of fall, which again, early September, we are still very much in the summer here. And we tend to see summertime conditions kind of extend out into October. Dew points across the region are very low with that dry air now in place, and it's going to hang around for at least another couple of days. Dew points have steadily been dropping really for the day, and that may continue through the overnight period. And by wake-up time tomorrow morning, we're going to have an even drier air mass, and that means a cooler start to the day and a very pleasant afternoon Friday. Saturday morning, dew points still 50s, low 60s, and that dry air hanging on for most of the day Saturday. But you know it's not going to last for long. By late overnight Saturday, early Sunday, the dew points start coming up and a return to the Gulf muggies. Now tomorrow morning, temperatures will be starting out low 60s North Shore, probably lower to mid 70s south of the lake, especially near the lake. And then on areas away from the city will be into the mid upper 60s. But with that dry air in place, it is going to be very pleasant. But as I said, it will be short-lived. Frontal boundary and all the associated moisture will start to surge back our way late Saturday and Sunday. We'll begin to see some spotty showers and maybe even an isolated thunderstorm. Now on early next week, we're going to be keeping a close watch of a tropical wave, which the Hurricane Center did kind of increase the percent chance of development as we get into the next 3 to 5 days. Right now, it's not doing anything. What the expectation is once it gets over the Bay of Campeche, Western Gulf, we may see some development. It really doesn't matter what we see develop because at this time, all of the models are indicating that anything should stay to our west. What we are looking at, though, is kind of a surge of tropical moisture, which will increase our rainfall. And right now, neither the Euro or the GFS is aggressive with anything forming. Both of them are just indicating kind of a lot of rainfall moving toward Texas and perhaps parts of South Louisiana. Maybe a little bit more of a focus over Southwest Louisiana. But the reason we're not thinking it's coming here is because this big blocking ridge is going to actually kind of extend eastward as we head into the weekend, which should help to keep anything that tries to get into the Gulf well to our west. So it looks like the steering currents will be in our favor to keep whatever tries to form away from us. Probably not going to avoid the rainfall, so expect rain chances to increase as we get into early next week, and then more of the normal variety as we continue through the middle to end of the week.
Ed Ogeron updates the status of one of his featured running backs before Saturday's home opener in Death Valley. Plus, the Saints have put up the help wanted posters for a number 2 cornerback, and they may finally have found someone for the job. Brooke has more on that next in sports. Stick and stay. The Saints were not able to contain Aaron Rodgers in last year's meeting at the Superdome as the future Hall of Fame quarterback threw for 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. The Saints secondary did improve after the Week 3 loss, but the unit now is more depleted than the one that faced Rodgers in 2020. But help will soon be on the way for the black and gold. Brooke Kirkhofer reports from Metairie.
The Bradley Roby trade is official for the Saints, joining New Orleans ahead of Week 1 and addressing an area of need since well before the 2021 NFL Draft. The cornerback brings in 7 years of experience, and back in 2017, when he was with the Denver Broncos, had one of his best years in the NFL with 17 passes defended. Dennis Allen was asked about him earlier today and spoke about why he thinks he'll be a good fit in this defense.
We've had success with Ohio State corners that we brought into our program. I like his size, length, speed, athleticism. He's really smart. And I think that he is going to fit in much like Jackrabbit did when we brought him in here.
Rookie corner Paulson Adebo also fighting for that starting spot, impressing the Saints coaching staff early on in camp.
We've seen him perform at a really high level throughout training camp. And so this isn't something where, if he's out there where we just said, we're doing this by default. Every opportunity that he's had, of course, we only had 2 preseason games, so he had 2 opportunities in the preseason, and I thought he performed really well. So, if he's called upon to be out there and play, then, he'll go out there and do his job, and we feel confident that he's able to do that.
Roby will not be available against the Packers, serving a one-game suspension rolling over from last season. But after week 1, Dennis Allen has a decision to make on if he will start the veteran cornerback or the rookie out of Stanford. Reporting in Metairie, I'm Brooke Kirchhoffer, Eyewitness Sports.
All right, Brooke, thank you very much. The Saints' current number 2 corner, Ken Crawley, missed a second day of practice Thursday with a hamstring injury. And New Orleans' number 1 corner, Marshawn Lattimore, appeared on the injury report as a limited participant at practice with a knee ailment. Joining Lattimore as a newbie on this week's injury report, Traquan Smith. He missed practice Thursday with a hamstring injury. Ed Orgeron says he's unsure about the status of running back John Emery for Saturday's home opener against McNeese. The former Destrehan star sat out the season opener reportedly due to academic reasons. Orgeron wants to see an improvement overall in the run game. UCLA stuffed the run while breaking off over 5 yards a clip on the ground. A lot did not go right for the Tigers last Saturday, but they should get back on track this Saturday against the Cowboys team that lost to Division II West Florida in their season opener.
That last game has been put to bed. I do believe mentally it has. It hurts everybody, obviously. And yes, it wasn't as bad as it looked. And I got to take the blame. I should have worked on them a lot harder. We did in the summer. There's some things, hindsight's 20/20, there's some things that I worked on more with our team, especially on the blitzes, especially on the tackle overs, the end over slot. All the formations that gave us problems that we know how to fix, but we just didn't run it enough.
LSU and McNeese kick off Saturday evening at 7 o'clock. The home opener there in Death Valley. It should be rocking there up in Baton Rouge. And we'll be right back after this. Stay with us.
And that's our news for now. Thanks for watching.
Have a great night. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.